but we're looking now into the Jazz preview on Friday. Some big things that I saw tonight was Walker Kessler being out. And that was big for the Grizzlies because now you limit their size, right? You limit their potential rebounding. And so then you can slide over some guys, but also you have to look at how does Bismack Biyombo go against this team? Because Bismack can match up very well with Walker Kessler. Now what do you do? Because you have smaller guys who still rebound well, and you want to be able to use Bismack, but also you have to use Bismack. And so what do you do in this scenario now? So who does he guard, and how does this offense look? Does it help you on the offensive end, or is this like hey, this is a game where we play 20 minutes and maybe try to hopefully get a good game out of Adama?
Yeah, I was about to say, you're going to want a good Santi game because Biyombo, the other big really is Olynyk. And
Yes.
You don't want Biyombo on the perimeter, really. Right. Kind of defeats the purpose. And Olynyk's going to knock down open shots, what he does. So more of a Santi game, honestly, more of a Junior game. It's a game where you're not going to get outsized. And so having Junior in there who has a nose for the ball is it's a good thing to do. We'll see. We'll see, because teams that can make shots are teams that are bad matchups for the Grizz. So, I think you're going to have to play Biyombo some. I think your best shot is probably to, once someone like Olynyk comes out of the game and the Jazz size down, and let me put a little asterisk next to this. I don't think this is something Taylor Jenkins will do. I don't think he has it in him to try and do it, but you could try and outsize the Jazz. You could try and outbig them and just say, we're going to get every rebound and we are going to live in the paint. I don't think Taylor Jenkins will do that. I think he's too stubborn. I think he'll stick to, hey, we're going to try and shoot our shots and shoot 53s, even though we make 28% of them.
Yeah, that's what also I was thinking about as well. Is I wonder if there is a way that we might be able to outsize them and say we're going to control the offensive glass, we're going to control the defensive glass, and if you shoot, so be it. If you put Biyombo in a pick and roll and just pick and roll us to death, and so be it. Listen, we're getting away with Jacob Gilyard minutes. Not that he's a terrible NBA player, but he's just outsized. But we're somehow getting away with that on the defensive end, where his biggest, lack of is, right? So I'm looking at maybe we allow Biyombo to be on be able to play, because he can still match up with Markkanen and even Collins. Collins literally stands in the corner for most of the time and does not do a whole lot. And so I'm curious if we go ahead and stick with Biyombo, because I think we might have a chance to actually outsize them and control the boards, which would be our best thing. Plus, we might be able to get to the front of the rim, get some of them in foul trouble. That might be big.
Here's our post-game presser. I thought our guys had good activity, both sides of the ball. And, we got good shots. We got to the shots that we want to get to, the shots that we practice. And, we just got to hit the shots. And, credit those guys. It's a good team over there. They hit some really tough shots tonight. We didn't have anyone within 15 feet, but they were tough shots that they shoot at a 60% clip. But, we just got to keep executing. We got to do a better job executing on our end, having better defensive activity, move the ball a little bit more on the offensive end. But, I think the guys been doing the right things. We'll get back to practice, get back to the drawing board, and, get back to hopefully winning some basketball games.
If you'd have been like, yeah, we got to get back to the basketball games. Like that would have killed it. This is exactly what I hear out of Taylor's press conferences. He's not saying anything, which honestly, that's the best thing most of the time as a coach. You just try to say stuff without saying anything. And it frustrates fans, but in the end of the day, it doesn't get you in trouble with your team. But looking back at this game that we played with the Jazz, where they won 133-109. If you go back and look at it, the first quarter was 42-19. After that, they beat us by 10 in the second. The Grizzlies then win by 8 in the third, and then win by 1 in the fourth. And so, yes, it is a bad game, and it was gross. But at the end of the day, that first half was abysmal, and that's where we were doing the 5-out, no in. Well, now we're almost having to go in. And so that's the biggest thing is we're having to be more in the paint. And because Walker Kessler's not there, but actually I feel like it helps us and gives us potential to be able to get to the front of the rim. Tonight when they were going against the lineup of the Pacers, let's look and see what Miles Turner did. Miles Turner had 23 minutes, 22 points, 6 rebounds. Halliburton went off with 16 points and 13 assists and 6 rebounds. And that was pretty much it. Aaron Nesmith went 4 of 6 from deep. Buddy Hield shot his 2 of 12 for 10 points from deep. Overall, it looked like it was just they were getting to the front of the rim. And if I look at the numbers as well, they had 101 shots in the game overall compared to the Jazz 96. 41 of the 101 came from deep, 13 of 41. And so realistically, not a great shooting night from deep out of the Pacers. They were just active. And if you look at the numbers in general, I don't know if anybody's seeing this, the stat line at all for these team stats. But honestly, except for field goal percentage, the Jazz out rebounded them. They had the same assist. The Pacers had 14 steals and 7 blocks. That is what's big. It's the 14 steals and 7 blocks. So what that tells me is if you can figure out a way to get aggressive to them, that's how you create that. And if you can get on those fast break points, even though they only had 21 fast break points to the Jazz 20, but they had 14 steals to their 3 steals is incredible. And one thing I will say is shout out to Chantel Norwood. What up? What up? And welcome. What else do you have on this Jazz game? Because we're over our hour already. I was trying to do 45 minutes tonight, but we ended up going over. What's your thoughts?
Main thing, Captain Optimism over here for exactly one game. Guarantee you will not get this much optimism from me probably in any other game this year. But I'm interested to see when this team decides to want it more. Because it wasn't until the fourth quarter we had guys diving for the ball. You're 1-7.
Yeah.
At what point are you going to decide you're desperate and you want it more, and you're going to go crash the offensive glass, and you're going to be the one that hustles the most?
Yeah.
If you hustle the most, you got enough that you can beat some of these teams. So we'll see.
You can always count on Ryan. We can't stay in front of Duncan Robinson. How we're going to get aggressive. I agree.
Yeah, trust me. Anytime David Roddy has to think right now, it goes poorly. I love David Roddy. I swear I love the man. Dude, if he has to do anything other than be a mindless athlete right now, you're done. You're screwed.
This is becoming an abusive relationship.
Unfortunately, I'm used to those.
I will say tonight, I'm going to give my prediction. I think the Grizzlies do win. I think Walker Kessler not being there allows Jaren to do what he wants. I also think they aren't going to guard Bane as well. I think that they are going on the road. They have been on the road now. This will be the 4th game before they go back home. So it's the last game before they have actually Saturday, Sunday, and Monday off. They have a 3-day stretch where they're off. This is their last game. They haven't won. They're on a 4-game losing streak. They haven't won since the Grizzlies game. Obviously, they're going to want to get right, but if you can somehow come out in the first and just compete with them, because they do like to be a first quarter scoring team, after that, I feel like you can jump back on them and actually control the game. But overall, I bet it's a 122, the most points the Grizzlies have scored all year, to 114. 122 to 114.